Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Mikkel and today we're doing some basic mini zine folds starting with a standard mini zine. You'll fold a piece of paper in half across the width to start your zine. You can use any sort of paper, I'm just using some copy paper to get this started. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the slower you work, the more you can line up your paper. After you fold it the first time, fold it in half again. This is just to get the shape going so you can kind of see where your pages are going to lie. Ultimately, you will end up with 8 pages on a standard fold. Once you've folded it like that, fold it in half one more time and you will get a little booklet shape like this. As you can see, it's already starting to take shape and form. It isn't done yet. Optionally, you can flip it and reverse the fold. I do this to make the final folds easier, but it isn't required. It does make it a lot easier though in the end to do so. Next, you're going to unfold the page to where it is folded in half, basically back to step 2. And I want to show that you need to cut against the folded line rather than the other edge. So cut in towards the center, starting at the folded edge. This is how we will start the actual shape of the booklet. Next, you are going to unfold the page and then you're going to refold it against the length. Take both of those ends and push inward and flatten like an accordion, and then just fold the booklet to its flat shape. And there it is. You have your mini zine booklet. You can make your mini zine about whatever you want. You can fill these pages with doodles. You can pre-print it. I will show you that in the next steps. But you essentially have your book, you can unfold it out, and here I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's laid flat so you have a better idea of a schematic. I'm going to start with the cover. I apologize that this pen's a little bit thin and it was dying, but it's what I had on hand at the moment. But the first page is going to be your cover, and you'll notice that I'm putting arrows. I like to have at least one version of my mini zine where I have a kind of schematic so I can always reference it. Then I just mark out pages 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Each of these is just a guideline to show which direction the page is going to lie, and this becomes incredibly helpful, not just for handmade zines, but also printed zines as well. Again, I will show that in the next folded zine, but I do suggest having one of these guidelines. It's incredibly helpful along the way in your zine making, and you can always share it with somebody else if you find that you want to show somebody else how to make a zine. And notice when I fold it up, it lines up, just as I said, with cover, pages 2 through 3. You can make these single pages, or you can make them spreads for 5, 6, 7, and finally the back cover. Next, we're going to do a mini zine with print. I have gone ahead and printed out a copy of Our Sweetest Bucky Boy number 2. We're going to follow the same steps by folding in half. As you can see, some of the images are upside down, but that's to be expected because they will be folded right side up in our final edition. You fold it in half again, it's already moving them in the right direction. We're going to keep on going and fold one more time, and that'll give us the little booklet shape again. And I flatten the crease just to make sure that it holds the shape a little bit better, and optionally you can reverse the fold one more time. Finally, unfold the zine to the page folded in half. As you can see here, again, I am making sure to cut against the folded side, not the open side. This is how we get the shape of our zine. And then I unfold it and refold it against the length. One more step, you're going to press those two ends together like an accordion and flatten the book, making sure the cover is on top. And now this is very useful, especially if you pre-print your zines, make them in Procreate or elsewhere. I did this one in Procreate and doodled over images of our cat Bucky, and then I printed and folded. It was easy as that. I want to show a variation as well, the tall mini zine, and this is completed with the same steps, except we are going to fold in half across the length. This is going to result in a very tall and very thin sheet to work with. Like our previous ones, we're going to fold in half again. And then optionally, we're going to reverse that fold one more time. Then unfold once and fold against the long side. This is slightly different than our previous zine, but the result is going to be more or less the same. Then we want to unfold the page folded in half and again cut inwards towards the center starting at the folded edge. Once we're done with this, we are again going to unfold and refold, but this time on the width. Once you've done that, take the two ends and press them together like the previous examples and flatten. Now this gives you a distinct shape for your mini zine and something that you can play with. Fill this with doodles, fill this with shapes, fill this with images. Have a lot of fun making whatever you want because there are no limits to what a mini zine can be, and this again gives you a distinct shape that is perhaps less common than the width folded version that I showed you before. And just for visual clarity, I'm going to unfold and mark this page just like I did with the previous one to show how the layout should look when you have printed it up or drawn on it. I like marking these up just so you can see where exactly your images are going to be laid out. This is great again for hand drawing or printed zines, just for clarity. I like making these two to show others, like in this tutorial. I've done this in person many times to show people how to make mini zines, how to fold them, and just to give them a general idea of the mock-up. And it's just a good thing to have on hand, so I would make one for myself. I have, and I hope that you will too. It's just one of those resources that I come back to time and time again, especially when I'm teaching other people how to make zines or in rare circumstances when I myself have forgotten how the layout looks. Again, it's just great for planning and designing your zines in advance and giving you a better sense of the layout so you don't forget where your images need to go. And there you go, 3 mini zines on hand. Finally, I want to show you a variation of a not-so-mini zine because these principles can be applied to any size of paper. Rather than going over the steps a 4th time, and maybe I've been redundant, but I'd rather be redundant and clear than not clear. I'll talk about what we can do with these mini zines. First, if you're planning on hand drawing or handwriting zines, come up with some prompts for yourself or look up prompts online and I'll come up with some for you right now. Make a zine about your favorite beach visit. Make a zine that is a map of your grocery store routine. Make a zine telling a friend what you like about them and draw it in abstraction. Make a zine about your favorite historical figures and what you would say in conversation with them. Imagine conversations between two animals and what that would sound like. Write it out, draw it, make a comic, doodle, scribble. It doesn't really matter what you make so long as you make it. I try to live by the philosophy of making art and making bad art because whatever we make, it didn't exist before and you brought something into creation. And that's what's so great about mini zines. They are very low stakes. They can be as simple or as complex as you want them. I've seen some people do incredible things like full-on paintings. I've seen people make reversible zines where both sides of the page are covered. I've done both complex and simple zines, ones that are done by hand and just have doodles, others that are more graphically designed and intricate. And it's all up to you about how you want to approach zines and what you want to share with the world. Fill in these pages, do not worry, and ultimately make them your own. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to tell me what you're going to make with your mini zine, put it in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.